Good morning and welcome back to our little Oregon tiny home. This morning it is cold and windy outside, but I decided to wake up early before the children to get some baking done. And as every mother knows, when you decide to get up early before the children also decide to get up early, and that is exactly what happened this morning. But I still am going to share this delicious recipe with you. They are like an oatmeal cookie, but also they're very good for keeping up your milk supply, which is so important for me, as I also share our daughter's diagnosis later on in the video. So stick around and watch this recipe for these delicious cookies. Okay, let's get started. So this is a Bosch mixer, so you can use a KitchenAid mixer, you can use a good old bowl and spoon, whatever you want to use, but this is the mixer I have. It looks kind of silly, but it's called a Bosch, B-O-S-C-H mixer. It was an investment, probably the best investment I've made in the last year. So basically we're going to get started with coconut oil. I'm just going to put some in a pan and melt it on the stove. You can use any kind of fat you'd like, butter, lard, or any other type of oil, but coconut oil works the best. Then I'm going to add some brown sugar. So it's about 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and this is the main sweetener for the cookies. I'll leave the recipe down below so you can have this recipe for yourself. What you're going to do with flaxseed is you're going to activate it. So basically it's a couple tablespoons of flaxseed. You add a couple tablespoons of water and let it sit, and it will kind of turn into a gel. And I'll show you later what it looks like when we put it in the bowl. But it's a great egg substitute and also adds a ton of nutritional benefits. And so basically you just make that and set it aside. Add a little bit of vanilla. Right now just adding all the wet ingredients, that melted coconut oil. As you can see, Mercy woke up. She's hanging out on Mama's back. We're gonna add an egg, any color egg. I had a green egg. You can do any kind of egg you'd like, but just one egg into this recipe. We're going to mix this all together. The fat, the egg, the sugar. Let's add some cinnamon. Say hi. Say good morning, people. I have bedhead. Yes, I do. These cookies are for me. So brewer's yeast powder is really the magic ingredient, and this definitely helps milk supply, and that's also why I put it in these cookies, but you can add it to anything. It also has other nutritional purposes. Adding in some salt. As you can see, I don't really measure much. I just kind of dump in, so like I said, I'll leave the recipe down below. This is that flaxseed. See, it becomes like a gel. Just add it in there. It's a good binder. And then I use steel cut oats. You can use any kind of oats you'd like, but I love the steel cut oats in this. So about a cup and a half of steel cut oats. And then I'm gonna use einkorn flour. Again, you can use any kind of flour in this, but this is a flour I'm using today. I've used, different kinds, which I'll share later. And then some baking powder. Now Moses is up. Everybody's up. The plan is to not be up and Mama to work alone in the kitchen, but that, never happens. All right, we're gonna add some chocolate chips in. You can add any kind of sweetener, but I love chocolate chips, so we're gonna add those in today. You popping wheelies on the bike? Keep going. She says keep going. Don't stop. Is that the cutest thing you've ever seen? So Mercy was fussing on my back, as you guys could see, and Moses had woken up and he's like, let me get her dressed and take her outside. And they've just been riding bikes with her, and it's seriously the sweetest thing. Children are such a blessing. At one point in our life, we didn't want to have any children, And after 3, we had decided that we didn't want to have any more children, which is just crazy. And then we decided that we're just going to trust the Lord with this. And our 4th child has been such a blessing. I hope that we are blessed with more children because they are so much fun. All right, so we have mixed up all the cookie dough and now we're just gonna bake it. This is the best part, besides eating it. So I'm just gonna put it out on a tray. I've already set my oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're gonna bake for about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how you like your cookies. So while we wait for our oven to warm up, I have the cookies on the cookie sheet. We're just gonna stick them in and bake them for 8 to 10 minutes. It really depends on how you like your cookies. I like cookies very soft. I don't like crunchy cookies. Do you like soft or crunchy? Let me know in the comments below. I'm a soft cookie girl all the way. My husband likes crunchy. Ugh. The thing about this recipe is you can adapt it any way you like. So basically, these are the ingredients I use. You can use rolled oats instead of steel cut oats. I just like the texture of the steel cut. You can do rolled oats. You can use any kind of flour you'd like. Gluten-free. I've done it with gluten-free flour. I've done it with almond flour. Today I used einkorn, whole white or white. But I would always go for a flour that's unbleached if you can, because it has more nutritional value. You can also mill your own grains. We don't have a grain mill, maybe one day, but we don't have one right now. But that's another option as well. You can add in different things like psyllium husk if you want more fiber. You can add in dates if you like it sweeter. You can take out the egg if you have an egg allergy and just add more flaxseed. There's so many different ways you can adapt this recipe, but every single way that I've tried it, and I've tried it for the last 8 years, it's delicious. Mercy, our youngest, is 13 months old, and she was born with a condition called Laryngomalacia, and it is where her throat didn't develop the way that it should have, and so she really struggles to eat, to swallow, and when she was first born, to breathe. It's been a wild journey. Once she was like 6 months and we were going to start feeding her a couple things, we realized that she could not do that. She could only breastfeed. She couldn't even drink from a bottle or a cup. She could only breastfeed, and at that moment I realized how important it is to maintain my supply. So the Bible says our bodies are living sacrifices, and I truly believe that for breastfeeding mamas, it's like a total reality. So she nurses still pretty much like a newborn. She nurses every couple hours around the clock. I haven't left her pretty much for the whole year, and we try different things as we see fit, as the Lord guides us and shows us what to do, but keeping my milk supply is number one. And I know that it's difficult for a lot of mamas. I've experienced every type of breastfeeding conundrum that there is with my 4 children. Some I breastfed for a long time, some I barely made it very far, but it is the most nutritious food for our babies. So if you can, get them breast milk. It is so important and so essential. Especially if you have a child with any sort of special need or growth issue. Breast milk is just, there's nothing that compares. So I make one batch and then I save the rest in a Ziploc bag, which you can store in the fridge or the freezer. I go through them, so I usually store it in the fridge and pull them out as needed.
You smell like banana.
And 1 to 2 tablespoons of brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast flakes. This is where it's at. This is wrong. Wrong, not these. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it.